Welcome to the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Some call it America's favorite drive. The Blue Ridge Parkway stretches 469 miles across Virginia and North Carolina, connecting Shenandoah National Park to Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We covered this scenic byway top to bottom in mid-October, towing our camper, and we're showing you our favorite stops along the way.
Today is a Saturday. It's a beautiful day, but we're starting this at about 1:23 in the afternoon. We're not going to be driving in the dark tonight, so not sure how far we'll get. Hoping about 60 miles or so with stops, but we're taking our time this entire weekend and taking you along for the ride. We think the speed limit is 35-ish. Haven't seen a sign. Can confirm, at least in the area that we're in right now, the speed limit is 35. And we're making, whoa, it is popping. We're making our very first stop at Humpback Rocks Visitor Center, and it is rowdy. Yeah, a little too zooey here. We're gonna go down the road and do like a short little loop-de-loo at another popular spot. There are places to like walk around and hikes around here, but it's just like very bah. We did get a sticker though. Well, we're already running into some issues with the old camper. The trailer does prevent us from pulling into like certain overlooks occasionally, and we've passed a couple now that we haven't been able to pull into because they explicitly say no trailers. Somebody commented on one of my videos and was like, you can make it work one time, but if it's...
You can park here and walk a quarter mile.
Yeah, like you can pull off on the side of the road, maybe a quarter mile up if you want to, and walk back. But most of the time it's like, let's just keep going. Unless it's like something, you know, we're trying to do a hike or something in the area. But if it says no trailers, we're not gonna try. I don't want to get stuck backing this thing up. Not one of the fun parts of scenic roads, and like you have to share the road, right? You might be stuck behind a bicyclist for quite some time if it's not safe to pass. Okay, this is actually an overlook that we can park at for a second.
There are about 200 overlooks along the Blue Ridge Parkway, and there's no shortage of amazing views, so if you miss an overlook, there's likely something just as good or at least close to it up ahead.
All right, we got another little stop here. Yankee Horse Ridge. It's a short stretch of reconstructed narrow gauge railroad track, once known as the Irish Creek Railway. There's also an exhibit on logging in the area, so we gotta do that. That was pretty good. That was a lovely stop. Very easy, family friendly. Yankee Horse Ridge. Very, very pretty. Our first tunnel. We were a little concerned. Okay, so when I looked up doing the Blue Ridge Parkway with an RV, on the website it said most RVs, maybe it said all RVs, all or most RVs can fit under every bridge if you drive perfectly in the center. Now, obviously, our little camper isn't that tall compared to like, you know, some big, huge Class A motorhome. We went under a 10.9 bridge, 10-foot 9-inch bridge, and we were okay. So we'll just say that's near the lowest that we can go. We're turning off of Blue Ridge Parkway for the rest of our drive today, and we're heading to Natural Bridge State Park, and then we're gonna try to park for the night in that area tonight before we get back on the road. Woo, it is toasty and bright. Right by like the main visitor area for Natural Bridge State Park, there's this gravel lot for RV and bus parking. And according to iOverlander, you can park here overnight. So I think we're gonna do that. We're just leaving it here for now while we go check out the state park, but we may come back after getting some food later. So it's $9 per person to visit the park. Not too bad. And there are a couple different trails that you can do. We're not gonna do anything too long or crazy. We just wanna see the bridge.
The Natural Bridge is 215 feet tall and the arch spans 90 feet. This limestone gorge was carved by the Cedar Creek.
It's really cool. Pleasantly surprised.
There are a bunch of birds that fly around in it, and it's cool. They have seats set up here where you can just hang out on either side and watch. Now we go back up all the stairs. Morning. We did stay here across the street from the Natural Bridge main parking lot last night. And now we are continuing down the road. So this is what we're using for our journey. This is the Blue Ridge Parkway like official app. I'll give it a B. It's better than nothing, that's for sure. But there are a lot of attractions and like hikes and stuff that it doesn't have listed on here, I've noticed. Anyway, so yesterday we did a large portion of the Ridge region. We're finishing the Ridge region today and going into the Plateau region. We're officially back to where we got off yesterday, and it's another beautiful day. I don't know exactly how many miles we're covering today. It's more than 100. Say like 120 maybe, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're driving like 35 to 45 miles per hour all day, it's quite a bit. Didn't take long to make it to our first stop. This is Otter Lake, and it was literally like 2 miles after we got back on the road. But what makes this spot unique, it's at 650 feet elevation, which is actually the lowest point along the Blue Ridge Parkway. Up ahead, there's a visitor center that's also at 650 feet elevation. And then a little bit down the road, not far at all, we're gonna check out the highest point along the Blue Ridge Parkway. So to have those two spots so close together is pretty cool. GPS is telling us that we're at Apple Orchard Mountain. I think this is it. I don't know. Let's get out and see. So apparently this is it. 3,950 feet of elevation. Doesn't feel like we went up that much, but I think there's another place to pull over. This isn't like a very big parking area. It's just an overlook, but it's beautiful.
This overlook is where the parkway reaches its highest point in Virginia. The actual summit of Apple Orchard Mountain tops more than 4,200 feet. If you have the time, you can hike to the top.
We're coming up on our next stop. It is the Peaks of Otter area. Now there's a lot of stuff in this area. There's a visitor center. There's a picnic area. There are a bunch of hiking trails. There's some really good hiking trails. I don't think we're going to be doing anything long just because of time today, but we're going to walk around some of the grounds here and make a quick stop. Lots of dogs here. We're gonna take the girls out for a little stroll, let them stretch their legs. Luna. Hi, Missy. We put the girls in the truck so we can take a relaxing stroll around the lake. I've said this in a previous video, but when Lady sees water, that's all she's thinking about. And so walking her around a lake and not letting her get in the water is like torture for her, and she just cries the whole time. It is what it is. So you can walk around the lake, which is easy, and you can also do this Johnson Farm Trail. You just have to walk under that. You literally walk underneath the Blue Ridge Parkway to get to this side. Johnson Farm Loop Trail. Do you want to do it? It's 0.7 miles. You up for that?
Not one of my hiking shoes. But
We'll see if we go all the way. Seems like a little more than 0.7 miles, but I think we're almost there.
The loop is about 1.75 miles round trip, taking you to an 1800s farmhouse that's open to visitors on certain days from May to October.
We decided we're gonna do the loop back down. So this trail is designed to be a loop, but we were just gonna come up and go back down the same way. But it's about the same distance either way, so we're gonna do the loop. That was probably one of the best stops we've made so far on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Just a lot to do, really pretty area. You don't need to have a ton of time or do a strenuous hike. Just walking around the lake was really nice. And then the short Johnson Farm hike was really nice as well. So definitely recommend the Peaks of Otter area. There's just a sign that said Blue Ridge Parkway closed ahead, follow detour. So we'll see what that's all about. We're just outside of Roanoke, south of Roanoke. So we shall see. Detour road is really aggressive. We've just been climbing up a mountain for like, I don't know, at least 5 minutes. Probably longer than that. Speed limit is like 25 miles per hour. It is quite the incline.
what is this road?
Quite the detour. I don't even know how many miles we missed, but it's not our fault. There was nothing we could have done. This is our last official stop for the day. This is the Mabry Mill, which is considered one of like the best, most quintessential things to do or see here on the Blue Ridge Parkway. So I'm excited about it. We don't have a ton of time as usual, but it should still be good. Another A+ stop. Highly recommend the Mabry Mill. There's so much more to do there that we didn't do just because we're limited on time, but you could easily spend like an hour plus there. They have a restaurant, plenty more things to do. Yeah, that's our last major stop for the day. I'll show you guys where we're staying tonight. It's just off the parkway, actually on the North Carolina side. We're still in Virginia, but we're crossing into North Carolina soon. So we made it to our Harvest Host location for the night. We've just recently been dabbling in Harvest Hosts. This is our site. You can see we're the only ones here right now. This is a winery just outside of Mount Airy, I think is how you pronounce it, North Carolina. So funny, we actually had to get off the Blue Ridge Parkway, got onto a different road, crossed into North Carolina, but we're committed to doing all of the Blue Ridge Parkway. So tomorrow we will cross back into Virginia to get back on where we got off, and then crossing into North Carolina again, if that makes sense. But this is a winery. We didn't make it in time to do the tasting, so I'm just going to pick up a bottle of wine that I bought online before we got here, and we're just gonna have a nice little evening. Morning and welcome back to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Took us about 25 minutes or so to get back up here, to get back on. We're only going to be back in Virginia for a few minutes, and we're about to cross back over into North Carolina. We have kind of a long drive before we get to our first stop, so just another nice opportunity to enjoy the scenic drive. And today's stops, I think, are going to be some of the best that we've seen so far. I have high expectations. Boo! Here we are about 30 miles in this morning and another detour. So once we crossed into North Carolina, we're officially in the Highlands region of the Blue Ridge Parkway, which goes for quite a while, milepost 217 to milepost 340. Something that we have noticed as we got closer to North Carolina, now that we're in North Carolina, the colors are much more vibrant than they were along the initial stretch coming from the north. I don't know if that's just because the elevations are higher here, different types of trees, a lot more reds down here.
You'll know you're coming up on a popular attraction if you start to see cars lined up on the road like this. In this case, everyone was trying to get a view of the Cove Viaduct.
A little chillier up here. We're about to drive over the Cove Viaduct, which is the bridge that I feel like is photographed in every single thing of the Blue Ridge Parkway. There are tons of people around here.
The Cove Viaduct is considered one of the most complicated concrete bridges ever built. It was designed to protect the habitat of Grandfather Mountain and was the last section of the Blue Ridge Parkway completed. You can't walk over the bridge, but you can get a great view from a nearby overlook, and driving over it is pretty incredible.
Well, that was just a grand old time. Yeah, getting like a good photo of the viaduct is going to require patience with crowds. It's a Monday and it is packed. Not even just with like local tourists, tons of international tourists here, which we haven't really seen much of along the Blue Ridge Parkway until this area. So that gives you an idea of how popular this area is if it gets international attention. And I have a feeling our next stop is going to be equally as busy. more drama. So our next stop is Grandfather Mountain, which they have the mile-high swinging bridge there, which you will see in just a little bit. But I didn't know that you must have a reservation to get in. My bad. And we were like about to pull into the entrance when I discovered that there's a sign that said you need a reservation. Good news is they had like 200 available for right now. So I don't know if it's necessarily hard to get a reservation, but you need a reservation. And we can enter in about 15 minutes. You cannot take a trailer up Grandfather Mountain, even though when I looked it up, it said there is RV parking. Apparently that's not true. So we're dropping the trailer near the entrance, just in this open lot for 30 minutes or so while we go up. So fingers crossed, it's okay. Wow.
Most wonder-filled places on Earth. To begin your audio tour, look to your left. You'll see McCrae Meadows, the Grandfather Mountain Highland Games track.
They give you a little audio tour.
For the
We made it to the top, and I totally see why you cannot bring a trailer up here. After coming up here, the switchbacks remind me of like mountains in Colorado. We came up here to see the mile-high swinging bridge. It's a high wind warning day today. The truck is rocking back and forth, but we see people up on the bridge, so we're gonna go. I don't know how much talking I'll do out there because of the wind. Wish us luck. It's a little scary.
The mile-high swinging bridge was built in 1952 and rebuilt in 1999 using the original towers. It's maybe not the best activity for those who are afraid of heights, but you'll get great panoramic views from America's highest suspension footbridge.
Little dicey up there on the swinging bridge. I bet it's gorgeous on like a calm sunrise or a calm sunset. But it was a little like chaotic. And like people who are like really scared were on the bridge, and everyone's like holding on for dear life because it's so windy. It doesn't actually like swing back and forth though.
No.
It's just like
Just some movement.
just a little movement. The bridge makes a really interesting sound with the wind. I tried to get it on camera, but I don't know if it picked it up because of the wind. It sounds like music is playing. Back down we go. Now the question is our trailer still there? And yeah, it is. I can see it. There is an explanation for how we ended up at a Mexican restaurant at 3 o'clock in the afternoon while driving the Blue Ridge Parkway. We were very hungry, did not eat lunch. There was nowhere to go. We tried several other places before we found the Mexican place. It was like the only place open in this small town that we stopped at, but it was delicious. We're just about to stop at our next stop, which is Linville Falls, and the place that we stopped, the Mexican place, is right before that if you're heading south. Very delicious food. Now we're ready to actually enjoy our next stop instead of being hungry. We're checking out Linville Falls, and I'm already a fan of this area. Super pretty. So there are a few different ways that you can view the falls. 3 separate trails from the visitor center. We're doing, I believe, what's called Irwin's Trail, and from there are 3 separate viewpoints. So that was the Upper Falls overlook. And there are 2 more overlooks less than half a mile if you keep going on the trail. So we're gonna keep going, but that one is really nice if that's all you want to do. It's easy to get to, just a few stairs at the end. This one's a little more of a trek, especially with like a pound of Mexican food in your stomach. Don't recommend that part of the equation. Here's the deal. We're kind of in a race against time right now. There's one more stop that we want to make. We thought about pushing it off, but we're gonna try to make it work tonight. The sun is setting. It's after 6 o'clock. We are 13 miles away from turning off of the parkway, but then we have a little bit of a drive to get to this last stop of the day. So fingers crossed, there is still a little bit of daylight by the time we get there. It'll be great if there is. Mount Mitchell is the last stop of the day for us, and we made it in time, we think. We're currently driving up the road that takes you to the summit. You can take RVs up here, but it is steep and windy so far. It's just over 4 miles to the summit, so not super far at all once you get off of the Blue Ridge Parkway. We're really hoping to catch sunset, which is in less than 20 minutes. People up here at this hour. Sunset on a weekday.
Lots of parking.
Lots of parking available. It is 38 degrees up here right now though.
From the parking lot, there's a short paved trail to the summit of Mount Mitchell. This is the highest point east of the Mississippi River at 6,684 feet. On a clear day, you can see as far as 85 miles from up here, and the best part is it's free.
We're back on the Blue Ridge Parkway. So here's what's been going on. Monday, after going to the top of Mount Mitchell, we took a break. We stayed in Asheville for the rest of the work week. It is now Saturday, and so we are completing the remainder of the Blue Ridge Parkway. This is the last section if you're doing it from the top down. We have a few stops today. These will be our final stops. It's been quite the adventure. So here we go. It is a beautiful day, thank goodness, because it's actually been really, really cold for the past few days that we've been in Asheville, like lows in the 20s in the morning, and it's been very windy. So a lot of the leaves that were on the trees last week, gone now. I would say it's past peak. I think it's still gonna be nice, at least while we're driving along the parkway at some of these lower elevations. Probably at the higher elevations that we stop at, won't be much color left, but it's still 65 degrees and sunny, so we'll take it. And I have the Instagram hat on, so you know it's gonna be a good day. Slight issue. So our first stop of the day is Graveyard Fields, but there was absolutely nowhere to park the camper around there, like not even on the side of the road. It was totally full. So we had to park quite a ways away at this overlook right here. And it says it's about a 20-minute walk from here. We'll be walking along the side of the road for quite some time.
Graveyard Fields is a flat valley known for hikes, waterfalls, and views of the surrounding mountains. It was pretty dry when we were here and we missed the fall colors, so this might not be the best depiction of the area.
I wouldn't say that stop was worth the parking and walking situation. Also, I think because all the leaves are gone in this area, it loses a little bit of its pizzazz. It's also quite warm out now, so I need to change. Changed clothes, ready for our next stop. This is actually just right down the road from where we just were. Devil's Courthouse Overlook. There's a trail. It's 0.8 miles round trip. I believe it's a set of stairs that takes us to the top here. Parking is a little bit easier at this spot. Still not great, but a little bit easier.
This is a very short but very steep hike. It is paved most of the way with a rocky section toward the top, and the views are totally worth it.
Definitely would recommend the Devil's Courthouse Overlook. The trail was steep, but the views at the top were some of the better ones that we've seen along the parkway. We have one last stop today, so we are very close to the end of the line for this little journey. This is it, the last official stop, Water Rock Knob. We're gonna go up the pedestrian overlook here.
The journey comes to a close.
Quick little opinion. I don't know if this view is necessarily any better than some of the others we've seen. It is a nice view, but like all the views are nice. We have, I think, about 15 miles to the end of the parkway. The final mile. A very anticlimactic ending. We missed the sign. Now we gotta go jump out and see it.
We did it.
What a rush. What a journey it's been.
We did it.
Super pumped that we did the whole thing. It's a lot of driving.
It's a lot of driving, windy roads, 35 to 45 miles an hour.
But we did it!
But we finished.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Please drop a comment below. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.